as Moho travels, come along and see the open road adventure and sweet simplicity. Campfires glowing, wheels keep rolling on. We're living the dream where we belong.
And good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the channel and to this month's edition of the Vanother Collective collaboration videos. This month's subject that all of us are going to be covering is storage solutions and packing ideas for small spaces, which we all have. Everybody's logos will be somewhere around here, probably over there, might be over there, and everybody's channel link will be in the description below, so make sure you go over and watch everybody else's videos for more wonderful tips and tricks for packing up your caravan, camper van or motorhome. Right, the way we're going to do this, and I will hand the camera over to my able assistant here, is we're going to start at the front end of the van and work our way backwards, and we'll show you.
I thought we were starting at the kitchen.
I just think it's easier, instead of going round in a circle, we'll just start at one end and work our way back.
Oh, okay.
Finishing up at the garage.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm sat on.
Okay.
Okie dokie. So, we will move down to the front of the van and we will show you how we shoehorn as much as possible into this little space.
Now, can I do it from here?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're going to allow me to buy microphones.
No. You spent enough this month.
I haven't spent a lot at all this month.
Okay, last month. Seeing as it's only the 4th of May.
Yes, happy Star Wars Day. Right. Okay, starting at the front of the van. Now, we're fortunate in the cab. We've got this wraparound area where we can get storage. For the side ones, we have got some little baskets. So for example, in this one we've got our stickers, we keep cables, I've got a spare camera in there, we've got some double-sided tape, spare water bits. These are the ones that wrap round the door and clip into your seatbelt holder, and we've got various other bits and pieces in these ones up here as well. In this bit up here we have a shopping bag. Our Karcher lives up here, and this is the bag for the silver screen that stays up there.
Well, when it's in use.
When it's in use.
Yeah.
In here,
I usually put like a map.
Yeah, there's usually a map in there.
For the area where we are.
But we've got our magnetic angles mort stickers for when we're in France, and ready for our next trip. I've got a set of the beam benders ready to go in there. Yeah. And on this side is where we've got our high-vis vests that we need on the continent.
Yeah, those middle bits are pretty useless, really, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't put anything in there, really.
No, because it flies out. Well, you've got a little bit down there.
Yeah, there's a little bit in the front of the thing there. Which
we only really use when we're travelling.
Yeah.
Like on the road. So for a drink, for your phone, bits like that. Yeah. My wool usually disappears down this nice little pockets down the side. So that usually disappears down there. Yeah. Because I always drop it.
Yeah, and in the middle bit, once we're in, CISKA'S craft bag and our bag of all the paperwork normally lives in there, so it's easily accessible.
Yeah.
The EcoFlow is down there on the floor, which is where it lives when we're travelling. As you can see, the cable is sat on top of it at the moment, but it will plug into the 12-volt socket in the front of the dash there, and I use it for charging when we're driving along. The 2 camping chairs are just sat there because it's raining outside at the moment, and we don't want them getting wet, but they live in the garage normally.
Yeah.
Moving backwards, this little space down here. Now, there's normally a cushion. A wooden board goes across here. There's normally a cushion sat there, but we took it out for when it's just us two, because we will store down here CISKA'S craft stuff, 1 box of stuff there, and a box of snacks will normally live in that corner down there as well. Right, the cupboards we've got at the front. This one, at the moment,
it's full of crap.
It's full of, well, I wouldn't say crap. It's
oh, that cushion should be in that, in the front.
In the front.
Yep.
Oh, you don't. You have to take that out of there. in the front. I'll pop it on there, we'll sort that out.
Yeah.
But in here at the moment, I've got all of our moisture traps. Now, a little space-saving idea that we've picked up is we've picked these up, which are hangable moisture traps. They'll take up less space.
Yeah.
So once these are all dead, I'll bin them and we'll switch to these, which will save us some space.
Courtesy of your mum.
Yes, yeah, my mother's got a caravan and this was what they use.
Yeah.
Also in here at the moment, I've got my box of plastic gloves for when I'm doing...
They should really be in the dirty cupboard.
Yeah, they should be. I just put them up there out the way for the moment. But this is what I use these for when I'm doing the cassette. Now, when we're on our long trips, this becomes our extra food cupboard, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, yeah.
We store a lot of dry stuff in there.
Yeah.
And if Chloe's with us, sometimes she will use that for her clothes and bits. She has done in the past.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, she has used that cupboard.
It's such a short time.
Yeah.
Usually only a weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, on our week trip, yes, she used that, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. When we went to
Yeah.
Wales, she used that cupboard for her stuff.
Yeah.
So that's our multi-purpose cupboard, that one.
Yes.
Right, this side is where we keep all of our crockery. Now we've got this little shelving unit here that we keep the plates on, bits and pieces there. We've got a little box where we keep our bowls, and we've got some glasses and some plastic cups and things from various festivals in there. And basically everything that we need, cup, saucer, bowl, plate wise, all lives in there. And this actually works. I mean, okay, yes, it rattles a little bit, but not too much. You can't really notice it. So this does work for us.
Yeah.
Now, moving back, I shall just move our bags out of the way over to here. This little cupboard underneath here, which backs onto the gas locker, which is this bit here, we keep our shoes in here when we're travelling.
Yeah.
So at the moment, all we've got in there is our walking boots. But when we're driving, our slippers all go in there, plus any other shoes that we're taking on our trip. They all live in there. Keeps them out of the way. One thing we did notice last year is I need to put an air freshener in there, especially when it gets hot.
Or like a absorber.
Yes.
Something.
Yeah, I do need to put an air freshener or something in there because... Pooh! That got whiffy. Right, moving backwards, we're going to come to the bathroom.
We'll have to swap places.
Yeah, we'll swap places. Let's move into the bathroom. Now, in here, this becomes a multi-purpose room. On our longer trips, we'll use this for drying clothes because we take we take one of those over the bath A-frame areas with us, and it fits perfectly in that little space in the shower there.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it takes a month to dry anything.
Well, if it's raining, yeah.
If it's raining, it does, but it does work.
But you can still get to the sink, but
Yeah,
you can. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few other little... We keep our brush for sweeping stuff in here, and our Swiffy mop for cleaning the floors. And also, up here, we've got this cupboard, which we normally keep spare deodorants in if we're on a longer trip, and the Sol Bio lives in there as well.
Yeah.
Any spare Sol Bio we've got.
Little shelf there that we just, you can put
spare toilet roll on there.
A little basket. It's with the sucky pads. Doesn't fully fit there, but it's been okay.
Yeah, it's been
all
fine.
right.
It's absolutely fine, that.
Yeah, yeah.
And we find if you actually make sure it's full, nothing falls out.
Yeah, yeah. It's when it's half full like we have it now.
Yeah, that you'll get an issue. But if you've got if you keep it full,
yeah,
everything stays in there when you're travelling.
Space.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, somebody find me something better for that.
Yeah.
Toilet roll on a string.
Yeah, because like in most motorhomes, they do not put a toilet roll holder.
No.
Right, moving backwards.
Yeah, back to the kitchen
Back
bits.
to the kitchen bit. Right, cupboards up here. These are our two primary food cupboards.
Yeah.
Now, these are good for storing your cereals in.
Well, yeah, because if it drops, it's not going to immediately just
go everywhere. We've got this little
basket.
basket.
Well, the biscuits usually are in a snack box.
Yeah, they're normally in the snack box, but at the moment, normally we'll keep tins and spices and stuff like that in there out the way.
Yeah, so they don't go everywhere.
Yeah, that's all in there. And this corner is primarily for tea, coffee, sugar.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, although I don't know whether to have a little shelf in one of them.
If we could, yes. It might be worth trying maybe something like that shelf that we've got the plates on. Although we have tried that in there and I don't think it worked, did it?
No, we tried that with the plates, but because we've got that little box here.
Yeah, which is all the wiring for the control panel.
Yeah, it didn't sit nicely in there. You have lost space.
Yes.
But no, for one of the cupboards, how high is that high? Cupboard is high? It's not, is it?
No.
No. I have got a little shelving thing, but then you'd have to have a basket underneath that you can pull out.
Yes.
We'll have to see if that would fit.
Yeah, see if that works.
Yeah.
Now, we've got this up here that we purchased, because normally all we had was this, which has got these slide along hooks on it where we hang hot cloths, tea towel.
Yeah.
And in here I keep the stuff to stop all the food going down the sink into the waste tank, the plug. That lives in there. Sponges for washing up, all that lives in there. Moving down here. This cupboard here is... This is all our cooking stuff. We've got the toaster. We have our air fryer. We've got a basket here where we keep our flatter pan, shall we say, our Ridge Monkey, a collapsible colander and a frying pan. Basket here for fruit, veg, potatoes, things like that.
And the oil.
And the oil lives in there. Because,
well, it does now.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a mishap with that yesterday.
Yes, most of it ended up all over the side and on the floor, but hey-ho.
Well, that's had a good clean.
Yeah. And in here we keep our chopping board and stuff for the oven. And in the back there we've got a full set of pans as well.
Yeah, which are camping pans, so it's ideal for...
Yeah, because they have the removable handle, which lives in here.
Yeah. And they fit inside another.
Yes. Now, this in here was a good buy. This extendable cutlery tray.
Yeah, with a little tray over the top.
With a little slide. Just gives you that little bit more space and you can get everything in there.
Yeah.
Very good buy. That was just bought in B&M, I think, wasn't it?
No, it was Aldi.
Aldi?
It was.
Yeah. Oh, Middle Isle Aldi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And down the bottom here is what we term as the dirty cupboard, because the bins in here, we keep the washing up liquid in there, the cleaning stuff. That all lives in there out the way.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect fit. That bin fits perfectly in the little slot that's there.
Yeah.
In the bottom of that drawer. Right, over to this side.
Coats.
Coats.
Coat hooks, yes.
But we have these here. Perfect for keeping our little fire stick,
Blanket.
fire blanket, and a torch.
Yeah, although I think it could have been used better for other bits and pieces as well.
Yes, it could have been, and you could do with a third hook, really. Now, during the summer months, when it's just us two, if it hasn't been raining and it's dry, the coats and the hoodies will live up on the top of that bed at the front of the van, out the way. Just freeze up this corridor.
Yeah.
Nice and simply.
Yeah.
Right, working our way back onto the fridge. Now, we haven't got them yet because I haven't been able to find them. But we saw when we were at one of the shows a little shelving unit that you hook to the bottom of one of the shelves and it creates another shelf just underneath it for maybe things like cold meats, cheeses and stuff like that. So if you can see, underneath here and underneath here, there is dead space. So if we can get something that hooks onto the bottom of this and sits there, we may be able to get some more bits in there and actually utilise that dead space without having to stack stuff. Because then that becomes a bit of... Because if you want the thing that's at the bottom, you then need to take everything out and it becomes a bit of a pain. Whereas if you can get an extra shelf... So if anybody knows where we can get those shelves that'll hook to the bottom of that and just sit there, please drop it in the comments below, because that would be very, very useful. And we have our separate one where we keep our fresh water, milk, juices at the bottom.
Well, it's good for bottles.
That is really good for bottles.
Really good for bottles.
Really good for bottles.
Yeah.
Then up here, we've got this bit of dead space up here. Now, at the moment, all I do is I put my wallet, keys, and bits and pieces up there. I'm thinking if I put maybe a lip across here, we might be able to get a storage box in there to store some stuff, give us a little bit more space.
If anybody knows how to attach something here without really drilling into things,
it would be very, very helpful. Yeah, again, drop that in the comments below, guys, if you've got any ideas for how I could utilise that space better. It would be very, very useful.
Yeah.
Because that is a big, big chunk of space.
Yeah, well, we've had a look to see if we could get a microwave to fit there. But then, would you really want a microwave that high? I wouldn't be able to use it. No.
Plus, there isn't, I mean, that gap between there and there is only 38 centimetres. There isn't a microwave on the planet that's that narrow.
Well, there might be, but we haven't found it.
No, I haven't found it.
Having it that high would not be very good.
No. Right, moving round.
Yeah, well, we've got the oven.
We've got the oven here.
Which could have been a microwave. We had a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, this is our wardrobe. Now, we're only on a weekend trip away at the moment, so what we tend to do on a weekend trip away is we live out of a suitcase.
Yeah.
Because all you need is a set of clothes, clean underwear, and maybe a towel or two.
Yeah.
And that's it. But we put those in a cupboard. Yeah. But when we go away on our longer trip, basically, Siska will have that half, I'll have that half, and when it's full, it's full. and we'll fold our jumpers neatly on the bottom.
Yeah.
Although if anyone's got some sort of idea of a little pull-out thing where you could roll jumpers into, that'd again be helpful.
Well, a box would do it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do that.
Yeah, to try and do that. But that's what we use that for.
And then you've got the...
Down the bottom here, we've got another good little cupboard, this one. Now, generally, I keep our cameras and electronic stuff in there.
Yeah.
Because it fits, everything fits in there and it doesn't rattle about.
Yeah.
So that has always been for that.
Yeah.
And it works. Right. Now we move on to this little thing here. Siska's actually made this. She's got some little pouches here where she can put her glasses and phone when we go to bed at night. And then round on the other side, we've got some more pouches where we can put booklets, leaflets, pens and various bits and pieces.
Yeah, and we can pin on the pins.
Yeah, any pins that we get.
Yeah.
See, we got a couple of pins there from the Arpen Hull when we went there, and I picked up an 80th anniversary of D-Day when we were in Normandy, and Siska very kindly sewed that on there as well.
Yes. Well, you might as well stay on that side.
Yes. Right, this little cupboard, as you can see, is not very useful. However, these little baskets work perfectly. So this is our medicines. This is effectively our medicine cabinet. We've got our Rennies, ibuprofen, paracetamol and stuff in there. In here also, I've got a little socket set, some tools in there. More tablets there. Another one of those.
That's a sticky on one that should go back in the bathroom.
That should go back in the bathroom. I've got my Leatherman. I've got an adjustable spanner. And we've got a basket full of pegs for when we're hanging washing out when we're away on our longer trips. But those little baskets fit perfectly in there.
Yeah.
And that is basically about everything that we can get in there because it's so small.
Yeah. It becomes difficult to get it out.
Yes, it does. Next cupboard is our towel cupboard.
Yeah.
That's where our towels live, in there. Round the other side, we've got this cupboard here, which is currently empty.
Yeah, the games should be in there. They're normally in there, but not on our longer trips.
Not on our longer trips. On our longer trips, we will use this for all our clean underwear, socks, bits and pieces in there. And this one, at the moment, we've got our first aid kit in there. We've got some tea towels in there, and the jump starter is in there as well.
I see a plastic bag in there.
There's a plastic bag in there as well.
That shouldn't be there. That should be in the front where the bags live.
Yes, it should be. We'll get that out later. Right.
Later never comes.
Last bit. Slide the table out the way. Garage. it's raining, I'm not going outside. Fortunately, we can get to our garage from inside. So all I need to do is lift that cushion out the way, move it over there, lift that up out the way, and I have access to the garage. Now, we are very, very lucky having a rear lounge and a garage. That's unusual from what I've seen in motorhomes. And it is quite a good garage. It runs full length of the van. Now, when we're away on our longer trips, we've got the two, as you'll have seen if you've been here a while, you'll know we've got the two fold-up e-bikes. One goes in that corner and the other one lives down in the other corner, which means that everything that's in there at the moment needs to squidge into the middle. So we've got the boxes which will slide up, the chairs that we take with us will fit in there as well. Electric hookup cable is down through there. Now I've divided this up two ways as well, because when I'll turn this light on. When Bluefix did our electrical install, they've installed the battery down in this cupboard here.
I can't get in.
Yeah. Now if I could lift that up, the battery's underneath there. So all of the chairs and everything live in the middle. Oh. Yeah, so I'll store all of our chairs in the middle here. The silver screen will live in there. This, when we go on a longer trip, will come out and live in the car because we don't take it with us. And as you can see down here in this corner, that's where our electrical install is, with the battery and the inverter and everything down there. So I tend to keep all of our electrical stuff down here, like the electrical hookup cable and everything lives down here with the bike. And on the other side with the other bike is where I will store our water hoses for filling up the van. Ooh. Right, let me just reassemble the seat. There we go. And that slides back on there quite nicely. Right, give me that. Oh dear, come and sit yourself down. You've earned a sit down after that.
Well, you haven't seen it yet. I might have to do it again.
Yeah, we might have to. This is take 2 anyway.
Yeah.
No, but as you can see, I think we've actually got quite a lot of storage space in here compared to some that I've seen.
Yeah, it's a little bit hickledy-pickledy.
Yes, and we are learning as we go along. But
might make another one, something similar to that, to have on this side.
yeah, that would be a good idea for other bits and pieces.
For like my daily project or whatever, I could just pop it in there.
Yeah.
Or have a hook on it or something that I can have it in the back and I can just...
Yeah, instead of having it strewn all over the seats. Yeah, that would work. But as you can see, guys, what you've got to do is you've got to be very selective with what you take and be frugal, most definitely. It's like with the clothes for us. Once the wardrobe's full, that's it.
Until I see some nice clothes and buy them anyway.
This is true. You did that last year, didn't you?
I did.
Yes.
Well, it's rare I find something instantly, so walk past, oh, I want that.
Yes. Yeah, you did find yourself a few tops last year, didn't you?
Yes.
In Motorhome. So, yeah, the wardrobe got slightly fuller as we went around last year. But no, it's a case of just be very selective and then think very carefully about exactly where you're going to put it and how it's going to work. I mean, we are occasionally changing things round as we find something that works better. We've certainly changed a few of these cupboards round over the course of the last 3 years. As we've discovered the better ways or more efficient ways of doing things and storing things. So, on that note, make sure you go over and watch everybody else's videos. There are a couple of us that have camper vans, which are even smaller spaces, so that's going to be interesting to see how they store the amount of stuff that you need to take away in one of those. And for those of us with caravans, Again, you're looking at the same sort of space, but again, because you're towing, you've got to be very careful of the towing weight of your caravan.
Well, you've got to be careful with your weight anyway.
Yeah, you've got to be very, very careful. So, it'd be worth going over and watching everybody else's videos as well. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much if you subscribe to the channel. And we will pick you up on the next one. Bye.